So a couple weeks back, I live streamed on social media making a request that the first few people who send me a recipe request will get a free t-shirt. So I did get a few requests, one of which was mac and cheese. Incidentally, separately, off to the side, someone else requested mac and cheese. So I figured, might as well make some mac and cheese and put my own spin on it. Chris, I'm assuming Christian, your shirt's going to be out to you shortly. By the time this video comes out, you should have your free t-shirt for making that request. In the meantime, we're not going to do this style. We're not doing that style. When I'm making it, I'm going to put my own spin on it. So let's get started here on Cook! Don't be lazy! We're going to start off with some thin sliced chicken breast. We're going to use some extra virgin olive oil. The thin sliced chicken breast is going to cook quicker, more evenly than a thick piece of chicken breast. We're going to salt it, pepper, paprika, parsley flakes, season both sides, rub it in. Preheat your pot. I've got my pot preheating. And let's throw these bad boys in there. Now the reason I said pot versus a pan when we're cooking the chicken is because we're going to cook everything in this pot here. We're going to use some of that chicken flavor. Once it's done cooking, we're going to start cooking our mac and cheese in here afterwards. So some more extra virgin olive oil. This is already preheated. I've got it to about a 5.5, 6. So let's throw our chicken on there. I'm going to cook this for about 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes aside. We're about 4 minutes into it. We're going to cook this side for about 4 or 5 minutes. 5 minutes on this side. Looking good. We're going to take this off, put it off to the side, let it rest. We need half a stick of butter, which is about 4 tablespoons. Now we want this, because this is going to be flavor for us. So drop in your butter. Cut up half an onion. Dice it up. We're going to throw in our onion, our diced onion. I've told you guys in previous videos, I love cooking with my tongs. I've had these tongs probably 15 years. If I know I'm going to go somewhere to cook, someone's house, I usually bring my tongs with me. I'm so comfortable with cooking with this. We're going to let this cook down for about 3 minutes or so. Alright, so this has been cooking down for about 4 or 5 minutes. We need to add some minced garlic. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm almost out. It's going to be about a good 4 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons. We also need some sun-dried tomatoes. This is the container it came in. Now the reason I poured it out into this bowl is because I don't want to use all the oil of this. So I want to be able to control how much oil I use. So we're going to add sun-dried tomatoes. We're going to use about half the oil. Chicken broth. That was probably roughly a 1/4 cup of chicken broth. I don't know if you guys can see, but you'll see that burnt chicken markings that were left earlier, they're pretty much disappearing. I think it's called deglazing. So we kind of deglazed our pot here. All that does is add that extra flavor onto the to this mixture. I'm gonna let this cook for about 2 minutes because I want some of the flavors from the sun-dried tomatoes to release. And we'll be back. Flour. I'm going to eyeball it. That's about 1/4 cup, I think. I'm going to add some more chicken broth. It's about a cup. It's about 1.5 cups or so. I'm eyeballing it, so we're going to add some milk, whole milk, red cap, not the blue. Eyeballing it. That's probably 1/2 cup so far. I want to see what this looks like. So it's starting to look like a sauce. I need a lot more. We still got to cook our pasta in here. So I'm going to add more milk. That's about another 1/2 cup. So, and I'm going to add some more chicken broth. And that's about another 1/2 cup or so, 3/4 cup. on top of what I added. Alright, pepper, salt, and Italian seasoning. Now, because we're using milk, it brought the temperature down, so we got to wait for this to simmer back up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put pause for a second. I'm going to wait for this to simmer back up. I'm not going to use the little elbows. I'm going to use these jumbo elbows. So I'm just going to cook this according to the directions on the box as far as time-wise. This says this is going to take 14 minutes for al dente. So I'm going to cook this in here for 14 minutes. I didn't put the whole box in, most of it, not all of it. Now this sauce, we're going to add our cheese later. This isn't our cheese yet, clearly. But this sauce is going to get thick as it continues to cook and or as it cools down. So I'm going to add some more milk right now, just to kind of thin it out some. Milk is good because we want it cheesy, and milk adds to that cheesy flavor. Alright, let me add some more milk. Alright, let me cover this up, and we'll be back in about 14 minutes. Alright, so we're about 14-15 minutes into it. One thing I forgot to mention is when you put your pasta in, set your stove to low, about 1.5, 2 on the stove, because you don't want to cook this on medium high. Not once you got the pasta in. Alright, so we're going to add some baby spinach. It's just a big handful. Looks like it's a lot, but it's going to wilt soon. Once it cooks down and wilts, it's not going to look like it's so much spinach in here. So this is already very thick. Mind you, we don't have our cheese in here yet. We're going to add our cheese very soon. But because we're still cooking it down, and it's going to continue to get thick, I'm going to add a little bit more. I don't want to add milk. I'm going to add more chicken broth. Just a little bit more. We're going to let this spinach cook down for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to add our cheese. Alright, cheese time. This looks good. As is. Shredded cheddar cheese. This is already an open bag, so this is about half a bag. Says 2 cups, so roughly a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. And some shredded mozzarella cheese. If I can get this open, there we go. That's going to be roughly a cup as well, 3/4 of a cup to a cup. Alright, now it's actually cheesy. So we still have our chicken. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plate up. I'm going to slice the chicken. I'm going to put the chicken on top of the mac and cheese. I'm going to sprinkle some grated Parmesan cheese on top of that. So let's plate up. Hit that subscribe button. I put out a video every single week. This week, chicken mac and cheese. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, cook! Don't be lazy!